Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk in English. I'm Garrett.
And my name is Esther. Today our topic is tips.
Yes, we have tips for you. We have study tips.
Now let's review some of the study tips we talked about yesterday. Here's one. Try to review a little every day.
Don't save things for the night before your test. And make sure you take careful notes during class.
Here's another one. Listen carefully in class.
And review the notes that you write down every night after class for about 20 minutes.
And here's one more. Take breaks so your brain can relax.
Take a long break every night as you go to sleep. Make sure to get enough sleep.
That's right. Yesterday, Julie was sharing some of the tips she uses when she studies. I found them very helpful. Today, we'll be telling you more study tips. But first, let's go to our Find It question. Our question is, why should you silence your phone when you are studying?
Why should you silence your phone when you are studying? Well, think about that question, try to answer it yourself, and then find the answer in our conversation.
Now let's go to Sonia, who's going to teach us our keywords.
Hello, Sam 正在准备他的期末考。他说 I'm studying for my final exams now. 形容词 final 就是最后的。Final exam 就是期末考，名词 exam 就是考试。Sarah 觉得找一个同学一起来学习可以互相帮助。Sam 也认同这个想法，他说有读书的伙伴是很有帮助的。Study partners are helpful. 名词 partner 就是伙伴、搭档。Sam 常常去图书馆读书。Sarah 问他：“你会把手机关成静音吗？” Do you silence your phone? 动词 silence 就是使安静。Sarah 建议他读书时手机最好关成静音，这样就不会受到干扰。Then it won't bother you. 动词 bother 就是烦扰、打扰。
Hey Sam, how are your studies going?
Pretty good, Sarah. I'm studying for my final exams now.
Do you want to hear some of my study tips?
Sure.
It is important to study your old exams. Your teachers may ask similar questions on the final exam.
I'll do that.
Also create study cards for facts and important terms. Making the cards will help your brain absorb the information.
Great idea. What else?
Today we start with Sarah asking Sam, our intern, this question. Hey Sam, how are your studies going?
His studies. That's such an interesting way to say this. This just means, how is it going for Sam as he's studying? Is he doing well or not so well?
Right, and Sam says, pretty good. I'm studying for my final exams now. Now, final here means the last or the end. And yesterday we heard this word test. The word exam is another word for test. So in school, at the end of a quarter or semester, you usually have final exams.
Yeah, the last exams at the end of that semester or different period. We usually use this word exam for really big or really important tests.
True. Now Sarah is going to share some of her study tips with Sam. She asks, do you want to hear some of my study tips?
Sam does want to hear, and he hears this first one. Sarah says it's important to study your old exams, the ones you took before.
Now, this means, for example, if you're taking math class, then you're going to look at the math test your teacher has given you before, not meaning something that is very old.
Yeah. In your semester, you might have exams in the middle of that period and at the end. So when you're preparing for your final exams, look at the older exams from before.
What's the reason? It's because your teachers might ask questions that are similar or alike to the questions before on the final exam.
It is important to do that. It's also important for us to go and learn with Sonia.
Sarah 说，学习考古题是很重要的。It is important to study your old exams. 这个句子原本是 to study your old exams is important. 因为作为主词的不定词片语 to study your old exams 太长了，所以改以虚主词 it 放在句首，把不定词片语移到后面，变成 It is important to study your old exams. 例如 It is important to be kind to others. 对人亲切和善是很重要的。或是 It is important to make new friends. 交新朋友是很重要的。
Thank you very much, Sonia. Well, Sarah is full of tips today. Her next tip is to create study cards for facts and important terms. Now, a term is like a word for something. We often use this for difficult words or difficult ways of describing something.
And when you make these cards, your brain will soak in or will absorb the information. Because you need to write these notes and make these cards, but when you're doing that, you're reviewing the material as well.
Yeah, you absorb that information. We also use this word absorb when we're in the kitchen. Think about a sponge. When the sponge touches water, water goes into a sponge. It absorbs the water.
Right. Phrases you can use can be take in or soak in. So your brain wants to take in, it wants to absorb that information.
So, friends, if you want to make some study cards for vocabulary that you're learning, you might take a card and write a word or a term on it. On the other side, write what it means.
Or you can make a sentence on the other side as well. Then you can review these terms or words quickly.
Yeah, you can see how they are used. Well, friends, we won't keep you too long. Go ahead and start making some study cards as we go to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let's talk in English. Every day, that's the way.
Sarah's study tips are very useful. She's given us 2 tips so far.
Yeah, the first one is to study your old exams, ones that you've done before, because the teacher might ask similar questions.
And the second one is to create study cards for facts or important terms. Now, many study cards can be made online now. You can even make them on your phone.
Or maybe someone else already made some. You can just print them out and use them.
That's a good tip. Well, let's continue and see what other tips Sarah will share.
Study with a classmate. Then you can ask each other questions.
Yes, study partners are helpful.
Where do you study?
I usually study in the library.
That's good. Do you silence your phone? You should. Then it won't bother you.
I need to do that. I check my phone way too often.
You can't concentrate if you're always checking your phone.
Right. I need to focus on studying so I can do well on my exams.
Friends, do you remember what Sarah's next tip is?
Sarah's next tip is to study with a classmate, not just by yourself.
This is such a great idea. You can become a better friend and you can review with someone else. Then you can also ask each other questions.
Yes, but I don't think this tip would work for everyone. I remember studying with friends before, but all we ended up doing was talking about things that had nothing to do with the class.
Right, so make sure you find someone who can focus and make sure you can study with them. Now we'll use this term each other, meaning two people. Let's go to Sonia for more.
Sarah 说，跟一个同学一起念书，可以互相问问题。Then you can ask each other questions. 片语 each other 是彼此，互相用在两个人之间。多于两个人的时候，则用 one another。但现在以英语为母语的人，有时候也会在两人之间用 one another。例如 ，They told each other their names。他们互报姓名，或是 They looked at each other in surprise。他们惊讶地看着彼此。也可以说 Neighbors often help one another。邻居之间常会彼此互助。我们再举个例子 The team members encourage one another。队员之间彼此激励。
Thank you, Sonia. Sam agrees with Sarah. He says study partners are helpful.
Study partners. A partner is someone who helps you to do things. You might have a classmate that is also your partner. They help you to learn or help you to finish a task.
Or in your English class, your teacher might say, find a partner. We are going to play a game.
You will work with them in that game. Well, Sarah wants to know where Sam is studying. Where does he go to sit down and review his information?
Sam usually studies in the library. This means it is common for him. He often goes to the library to study.
Many people do. A library is a place with lots of books to look at, but it's also a very quiet place. For some people, they really need somewhere quiet so they can concentrate on what they're learning. But that never worked well for me.
What worked for you then?
Well, I needed some noise. If it's too quiet, I would just look for distractions. But with a little bit of noise, I was able to focus.
Everyone is different. Now, Sam goes to the library to study, but Sarah asks him, do you silence your phone?
The word silence is a word we often use as a noun. If there's no sound, then there is silence. But here, it's a verb or an action.
Right. It means, do you turn your phone, do you turn the volume off so you don't hear any sound when people call you?
Yeah, you change the mode or the setting in your phone. Well, I think we found the answer to our Find It question. Why should you silence your phone when you are studying?
You should silence your phone so it won't bother you. Imagine trying to study. Then your phone rings. Then you want to check your phone and see who is calling you. Now, if something bothers you, it means it makes you feel a little upset.
This is very similar to the word annoy. You might bother someone else, or something might bother you.
And Sam does need to silence his phone. He says, I check my phone way too often.
Oh yeah, I need to do that. Hey, I need to do that is today's calendar phrase.
I need to do that.
I need to do that. 我需要那么做。
You should study more.
Yeah, I need to do that.
You should study every day.
Yeah, I need to do that.
You should study with a classmate.
Yeah, I need to do that. But who could be my study partner?
Don't look at me.
Oh.
I need to do that.
I need to do that. 我需要那么做。
Sarah is right. If you're always checking your phone, you can't concentrate or focus when you are studying.
When you look away at your phone, it's hard to come back and continue studying. So remember to silence your phone while you are reviewing. Hey, let's review our key words together now.
Here is your first key word. Final. Final. Is that your final answer?
Exam. Exam. She did well on her math exam.
Partner. Partner. Jack is my workout partner.
Silence. Silence. Did you silence your alarm?
Bother. Bother. The noise is bothering me. Friends, those are today's key words. Keep practicing them.
And now it's your turn.
Today's words are final, exams, partner, silenced, and bother. Now it's your turn to use them in a sentence. First one, my phone during the movie. Correct. I silenced my phone during the movie. Next, when are your final? You're right. When are your final exams? Next, don't your dad. He's busy. You got it. Don't bother your dad. He's busy. Next, why are you alone? Where's your... Good job. Why are you alone? Where's your partner? Last one, ask your question. That's correct. Ask your final question. That's all for today. I'll see you next time for your turn. Hey Sam, how are your studies going?
Pretty good, Sarah. I'm studying for my final exams now.
Do you want to hear some of my study tips?
Sure.
It is important to study your old exams. Your teachers may ask similar questions on the final exam.
I'll do that.
Also create study cards for facts and important terms. Making the cards will help your brain absorb the information.
Great idea. What else?
Study with a classmate. Then you can ask each other questions.
Yes, study partners are helpful.
Where do you study?
I usually study in the library.
That's good. Do you silence your phone? You should. Then it won't bother you.
I need to do that. I check my phone way too often.
You can't concentrate if you're always checking your phone.
Right. I need to focus on studying so I can do well on my exams.
Why? What's up, huh?
I want to share more study tips with you.
You have more tips? Yeah, but...
Yes, study your old exams.
Huh? Why?
Your teacher may ask similar questions.
Oh, that's true.
Also, make study cards that will help your brain.
Okay, if you say so.
And find a study partner.
A study partner?
Yes, you can ask each other questions.
Good idea. Hey, thanks for the tips, James.
Wait, one more tip.
What's that?
Silence your phone. Then you can focus on studying.
good idea, but I think it's too late.
Too late?
Yeah. I missed the test while I was sleeping.
What? You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do you have a minute?
Not really. I'm studying for exams today.
I'll be quick. I just want to ask a few questions.
Do you want to know my phone number?
Actually, I just want to know, why should you study with a classmate?
Oh, well, because you can ask each other questions.
That's right. And that's a good way to prepare.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So, how do you prepare for a test?
Well, I review all tests and I make cards to help me remember things.
Excellent! And remember, it's good to have a study partner. You can ask each other questions.
Yeah, that's right. So, will you be my study partner?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, sorry. I have to go now.
Well, come back later if you have time.
Good to know.
I'll be here all day.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Friends, we hope you learned some study tips today. Garrett, do you have any more study tips?
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions, even from your teacher. They might have some time outside of class when you can go and spend a little more time asking.
That is a good tip. I'll give you one as well. Be sure to listen carefully when your teacher reviews for the test. He or she might say, "This is important. You'll need to know it for the test."
That's right, because not everything is important. So make sure you focus or concentrate on the most important things.
Another tip is to look at the mistakes from your old tests and make sure you understand why you got them wrong.
Then join us again tomorrow for another great lesson right here on Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.